Really, it's just allows me to explore the mountains and get out there and do it in the limited amount of time I have, and really challenge myself and test my limits in the process. The biggest tip I always have is one that was given to me early on is that it doesn't always get worse. And so when you're doing ultras, just remember you're going to hit low spots and keep pushing through it, and you'll come out the other side.
I love ultra running because I just love running long distances, and my top tip is find a race that inspires you to want to keep training.
I don't know even if I like ultra running, to be honest. I like to go on big running adventures, and I like to move over the mountains, especially light and fast. I like the feeling of going and doing, but I'm definitely not the sort of person which is just looking at my watch and wants to get to a number, and once I get to that number, I've achieved something, and then I'll go home and think, I've run this far. Like, it's never had that big of an appeal, but where I'm running means a lot more to me than how far I'm going to be going for. I mean, there's so many different things which is going to impact how you do on your race. It's really hard to pick just one top tip. But I guess apart from actually just going out and running more, which is quite an obvious one, is to really test your kit, because to get your nutrition plan down and what kit you're going to use and make sure it's not going to cause you any issues, is going to really impact how fun the experience is. And if the experience is fun, you're much more likely to complete.
I love ultra running because it's an all-day picnic. So I get to run, I get to eat, I get to just go at a nice steady pace, and it just feels like there's not as much pressure on ultra running and ultra racing as there is when it comes to like different things like road racing, for example. A top tip for beginner ultra runners is probably don't be intimidated by the training. I think I get a lot of questions all the time. How do you train for an ultra marathon? Like, when you have a marathon training program, it's really easy to see the mileage in the long runs building up, and you've got 26.2 miles at the end as your finish. But I guess when it comes to ultra running, there are so many different ways to train for it. For a tip, I would say just make sure that you are upping your mileage sensibly. Don't go out and do loads of miles all at once, because you'll probably end up getting injured. But also trying and doing back-to-back days in your training, so making sure that you're going out and doing long stuff 2 days on the bounce, just to teach your legs how to run on tired legs, because at the end of the day, ultra running is about running on tired legs.
I think I've lost my mind.
Ooh, why do I like ultra running? What's my top tip for beginners? I like ultra running because it's where I can do my personal filing and making sense of the world, which in my line of work is really flipping important. Top tip, choose a race that inspires you. Doesn't matter what the difference is, what the distance is even. Don't worry about, I've never done 50k or 50 miles, or I've only done a half marathon or 5k. If it inspires you, it's the right race for you. You'll find a way to get to the finish line.
How are you feeling, guys?
I like finding out what's possible for myself and for women. I like to go further, and I feel like I'm propelled by joy. Just the curiosity of finding out how far I can go, just continue to go further and push my own limits. And yeah, I love to run. I mean, obviously it shows when I run. I have a big smile on my face, and I love to run, and I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing if I didn't really have a passion and a joy for it. So yeah, I mean, you just have to keep putting one foot in front of the other, and just do that over and over and over again until you find that runner's high.
Because it takes you to the most beautiful places in the world and lets you test yourself to the full range of your abilities. Tip for people: a lot of people are scared to go trail running. They think it's ultra running. It sounds really big, but actually just open your door and run down the lane and run back again, and you're already on the journey to becoming an ultra runner. So just do a little bit more each day, and you're there.
I love ultra running because I love the sense of achievement. I particularly enjoy doing ultras where you run from A to B. So I love the fact that you set off in one place and have the challenge of actually reaching a certain destination. I find that really motivating and really exciting. So my top tip for people who are starting for the first time would be to choose an ultra that you think is going to really motivate you for some reason. It being a place that you really love, or a place that you find really interesting and exciting, because I think that will motivate you to keep going.
I love it because it allows me to explore nature's beautiful places. On for top tip, do stuff that you love. Don't get railroaded into doing races and training for stuff that you're not that motivated about. Just pick stuff you enjoy and don't get pressured into stuff by social media or other people's conceptions of what running's really about.
Why do I like ultra? Because it's not about speed and split times. I mean, it is if you're a pro, but for me, as someone who likes to run and not wear a watch ever, I think the goal in a lot of ultra running races is just to make it to the finish line. And I love that. And it's also about stopping and seeing things along the way. And there's this real camaraderie in ultra races that everyone just wants the other people around them to succeed because they understand what they're going through. And that is why I love ultra more than, say, marathons, half marathons and 10Ks.
Why would you not like ultra running? You know, stuff. It's just cool. I don't actually think of it as a consciously liking or disliking it. It just sort of, I find I'm pretty happy at the moment and running's a part of that. So don't necessarily put any pressure on yourself. That's the joy about ultra running. It's not about sort of your PB. I think your PB is basically just getting to the start of a new one, and once you're there, who knows where it'll take you.
I really love ultra, and I love the outdoor life. I love the scenery. My favourite thing is running and walking, actually half the time in the mountains. So I just enjoy the scenery and I just love breathing fresh air. But nutrition-wise, of course, it becomes absolutely crucial. So if you're running anything more than about 5K, 10K, you've really got to take your nutrition really seriously. So the most important thing you can do is to ensure that you are properly fueled beforehand. So many runners think that running gives them a free pass to eat whatever they like, and so they will then fuel up on cakes and crisps. These are real favourites of runners. But if you are fueling up with those foods, it means that you won't be getting the proper fuel that you need to do trail running, ultra running, marathon running, and instead of being able to complete the course, you will fatigue much sooner, and you will have to go at a much slower pace. So it's really important that you pay attention to refueling with healthy foods.